G'day and welcome back for more Space Engineers Survival and more revenge. Hopefully more successful revenge, as I'm pretty sure all that happened last time was I made a bit of a crater in the ground. You might have seen some damage to the base, but I'm almost certain that that damage came about because one of their own drones ran into their base. I don't think I can take credit for it, sadly. Something I'm noticing right here is also a potential explanation of why the bunker isn't working. As you can see, it has power because, well, it's on. The beacon's on, so it's got power. But I think it stopped working as effectively because there were pieces of other drones around here that the turrets were targeting even though they couldn't shoot at them. And because those turrets had those targets, the drones needed to be closer to them before they switched to the new targets on the new drones. This gave the drones the opportunity to get in range and do damage before the turrets actually took them out. And I think that's where the problem started. So pieces of debris like this with a fully functioning reactor would have been grabbing their attention and stopping them from targeting a new drone. That's my best figuring about what happened. I don't know if that's right, but it seems plausible, I reckon. At the moment, I don't really have a better theory as to why it worked out that way, but it does give me a good reason to potentially push the grinder pit a little bit higher up the list of priorities. And that's probably a fun thing. Another thing from last episode was my issue with the hydrogen bottles and the fact that Izzy's script wouldn't take them from this container, get them filled and then put them back, which, you know, makes sense. It does say it will move them from another container, fill them, and then put them back in here. But I really wanted some way to, at the first point I access the inventory, which is usually by me grabbing something and pressing CC, because I'm wanting components. And when I'm accessing inventories through systems like the pipe conveyor conversion blocks, those need to have, well, those don't have a place I can dump the hydrogen bottles. If I was accessing it through a small cargo container like I've got at the bottom of the elevator, it'd be fine. Because I could easily just go like this, access, pop in, CC, grab my components, my hydrogen bottle will turn up, grab it as well, and off I go. But it doesn't work for the other one, which is unfortunate. And I was hoping to get a more efficient way of doing this. But that's the way it is. At least it's more efficient sometimes. And that fleeting rival, I don't think I'm going to wait for it to get to the base. I think I'm going to go out and attack it now. Oddly, controlling the goose is what I need to control, because that's actually the control block on the chicken hawk. So let's grab its camera point of view, let's turn its thrusters on, unlock, and let's go. Let's go take down this enemy. It's pretty dark out, which is not ideal, but hopefully we'll have enough light against the night's, well, the lightening dawn sky that we'll be able to see it. And speaking of seeing things, this does bring me to another... Uh-oh! Uh-oh! I've gone too close! I've gone too close! I was too busy talking and thinking. Oh dear. That was close. That was way too close. Oh. Come on, take it down, take it down. So, speaking Distracting myself again while in the middle of a firefight. Perfect. So, speaking of visibility, the overlay of the cameras in Space Engineers is something that a lot of people dislike due to their oddly blurry nature despite this being a technologically advanced world. Yes. Totally gone. And there are some mods that will perfectly clear it up, or some mods that will add a sort of futuristic-y styled overlay on the camera. I've pretty much only used the completely clear ones, and that's because I use a combination of that completely clear camera overlay and Digi's camera panning, I think it's called, mod, which allows you to actually press, I think it's Alt, and move the camera around 180 degrees so that you can see like the camera can move around in its dome, which is, you know, what a lot of modern security cameras can do, which is very, very cool. And the reason I've used it a lot is if you're making a cinematic, well, if you're making a scene where, if you're filming a scene, I should say, where you've got a couple of your characters in a cockpit of a ship and you want to make that ship move while filming, you can't really use spectator cam because it won't move with the ship. So the better way of doing it, or the way that I prefer to do it, is attach a small grid inside the cockpit or the bridge of your ship, lock it onto the ship, and have the camera attached to that small ship. And then you can view from that point of view and record everything perfectly. And it works really, really nicely for getting those sort of action shots. And if you haven't guessed, lately I've been talking about my machinima making a little bit more, and that's because I've actually almost finally got a new episode published, which is why I'm getting all excited about it and can't stop talking about it, because it's on my mind all of the time. Right, now that that drone is taken care of, what we're going to do is we are going to build another Rudolf. And because it's going to be daylight soon, we're going to be able to see what's going on when Rudolf attacks. That's not a phrase I ever thought I would say. When Rudolf attacks. So, for building more Rudolphs, and probably for building a bunch of other things, I think this area is as good as any. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place onto the wall a rotor, and then I'm going to place a projector onto that rotor. Much as we've done outside, except this time we get light 24 hours a day. At least if I don't run out of battery power on the base. I'm also going to put... How did T get back on? I'm also going to put a light armor slope there. Oh, I know how T got back on. Because this week has been something a little bit special. I might have been playing a lot of... like, a lot of the multiplayer test, because I was so excited to see what it was going to be like. I really, really, really wanted it to be good. And there is one function alone that if they can make the bugs a lot less prominent will be just awesome. And that is that you no longer lose your inventory when you disconnect from a server. You respawn back exactly where you were. So now that we've got our small head on our rotor, we can add a single light armor block. Although I don't need to do that. We can then add our projector and then a single light armor block. We need something to grind away when we end up finishing the projection. And now let's add our projection to the projector. But because I'm not going to be able to figure out which projector this is in the list, come on. Don't be like that. There we go. I'm going to set my pitch to 180. And then I know that's going to be my projector in my list. So it might be this one. Yeah. Ah, got it first go. Blueprints. Rudolf. And I made 2, so let's grab that one. And now I just have to weld it, and we'll be able to launch another strike. And hopefully this one will be successful. And hopefully Reggie will be ready now that he's finished installing the update, the April Windows 10 update. Normally, designing stuff like this, you're going to be much more efficient if you do it in Creative, because you're going to get a design that doesn't cost you any materials. But I thought it'd be fun, and I realize I'm doing this build incredibly inefficiently. Just because I'm talking, I'm just doing easy things that don't require much thought. I thought it'd be fun to have to deal with the fact that it's expensive to test this in survival. And that's why I'm doing it this way. I am not actually going to load this up in Creative at all. I'm just going to take it as it comes and hope I get a design that works. And I would like to make another point right now. When you're building stuff that's projected at the moment, you get this problem a lot. It's green, I should be able to place it, but as I'm holding down the welder, nothing's happening. Something I've discovered that does make it a little bit easier to place them is if you get that block highlighted. And where have we got it? There we go. Gyroscope's highlighted. Oh, that one worked. That wasn't helpful. Alright, let's try it with this thruster. So, we get the block highlighted. We turn on the welder, and then we just gently move backwards, and there's usually a sweet spot. That tells me I don't have enough steel plate. Of course. Trying to demonstrate something, and it just doesn't work. So there we go, and then dink, and it gets placed. Then you can move back in and weld it as you normally would. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but it is a little more reliable for getting stuff placed so that you can weld it up properly. Before I disconnect Rudolf from the rotor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab the chicken hawk, because I'm going to use it to launch this Rudolf. It'll allow me to get much closer to the enemy base and feel safe about it. Plus, I think it's kind of cool to have the chicken hawk be the launching device for Rudolphs. And I can't see now, so I'm going to have to get out of there and take control like this. I just hope that the chicken hawk is strong enough to pull this off. I'm pretty sure it will be. Yep, that's pretty much exactly where I want it. Now I can grind away this light armor block, and you can see with the little taps that I accidentally gave Rudolf why I wanted to do it this way. I could possibly, to save on landing gear, put the landing gear on the chicken hawk and just not have one on Rudolf. But the challenge with that, and the reason I like having the landing gear on Rudolf, is that then I can get control of Rudolf before I launch. Otherwise, I would effectively be having to launch it, then switch controls really quickly, and I'm not going to trust myself doing that. Not at all. So, let's grab... Uh-oh. I didn't build the antenna. There we go. And since energy is low, let's hop in here. Oh no, I'm hearing gunfire. That's bad. Oh no, I missed a drone. Oh, this is not good. This is not ideal with Rudolf attached. I can't detach it now. What is shooting? Oh man, it's the stinging adversary that's shooting. I thought I was looking for my guns. Oh. Alright. Oh, I don't think there's going to be much of the bunker left after that. At least my solar panels are intact. Which reminds me, when I get back, I will be adding a couple of decoys to the ends of the solar panels here. And I'm going to coat them in potentially heavy armor half slabs. I might use something that's actually thinner than that, but that's my thought at the moment. Just to make the decoys last a teensy bit longer. I'm not going to be able to do any sort of welder hookup thing so that I could, you know, have the decoys last a lot longer and potentially, you know, withstand forever as long as I've got enough steel plates to repair them. But at least with some degree of protection, it'll just make them last that tiny bit longer and potentially save me a couple of solar panels. I'm going to go grab Reggie and set him up so that we can see this missile the whole way in, because that's going to be a much better viewpoint. Just experienced a bit of an odd bug there with Reggie, which has allowed this fleeting rival to get a lot closer than I was hoping it would. He couldn't actually see the enemy base when I was in spectator camera, so let's try that again. Alright, let's take out the fleeting rival while I figure out how to get Reggie to be able to see this enemy base, because right now he doesn't even see the beacon marker from it, which is very, very confusing. I think I might have taken out its gyroscope. Oh, it's going down. It must be going down. It's coming closer. That's not good. Does make it easier to hit though. Oh dear. It was upside down for a very long time. Oh, whoa. That was a little too close. Oh, there's another one. Come on, Reggie. Get your act together. Alright, we're going to just have to do this the same way we did it before. With my spectator camera set up there. Uh-oh. And we'll just go as we are and hope it works out. Let's launch Rudolf anyway, because I can't figure out how to get Reggie working. So we need to step out of control of that. We need to press Shift K and we need to take control of this. Get into our camera. No! I think the drone did... no! I think a stray shot hit the landing gear and I can't control it. Drat. I have to return to base. Ah, Reggie, you ruined everything. I'm gonna have to do this again. If someone knows what I need to do, because obviously this isn't an issue I've run into before, what I'm trying to do is set Reggie to have Space Master and creative mode controls. The idea of that being that then Reggie would be able to teleport himself, hopefully within range of the grid, so that then I can set up a spectator camera with that grid visible, because right now his spectator cannot see the enemy base at all. There's no beacon for it, there's nothing. It's very strange. So if any of you guys know a way around that, if you've come across this issue and you've dealt with it, I would very much love to hear about it so that I can get a better camera angle when we do these missile runs, because it's kind of hard to get a good angle using just my main character's point of view, because I have to switch to spectator camera at the last moment to try and make sure I don't lose the explosion. So I'm going to take out this fleeting rival, and then straight away I'm going to launch Rudolf and see what we can do. I'm hoping that this angle that I've got Oh, that's the wrong angle. That is not the angle I want. Glad I checked this. Hoping that this angle will tell us what happens. Oh! Brutalized it. Now it should be all going down. Yep. Done for. Woo! We're in a holding position-ish. There we go. Holding position. Exit control. Grab control of small grid 514, which is Rudolf. View camera. Unlock landing gear. Move away from our little drone friend. We're far enough away now. Arm the warhead. And now, let's gain some altitude. Oh, we can see from this one. Maybe I'll stick with this camera first. Alright, I think we start spearing in. Let's go. It's not a straight down drop, but it'll look so much cooler. Also, I don't think I could manage a straight down drop. I think I would stuff it up. Let's try some corkscrewing. Nope, that's just gonna make me miss. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No, 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 no! Oh! Oh, I very much missed. That was close though. It was very close. Did miss though. I think we might try another idea that will take advantage of our docking camera. Because what I think we might... Wow, that looks pretty cool doing that. What I think we might do is build a very small, very cheap missile. It will consist of a thruster, a gyroscope, a reactor, and a warhead, coated in a little bit of armor. And that's it. Nothing more. The idea being that it's basically going to be a bomb that I could drop from this. Although... Actually, no. Let's literally make a bomb. I'm going to make a bomb that I can drop from the Chicken Hawk. What we could do is actually just make a dumb bomb. If I grab, say, a rotor and pop it there. 1 and 2. And I don't know if that looks worse with the slopes, but it's what we're doing. I'm almost certainly going to change that later, because it looks horrible. But the idea will be, we can then place onto these warheads. And I could put a little heavy armor coating on them. Like, do this. Just in case they take a couple of hits. But, oh, I can't place it in the middle of these two, can I? Nuts. Oh, it can be on some surfaces of it. So the idea of how I'm going to use these is something that's definitely low yield, but could be super fun if it even remotely works. I want to fly over the enemy base and drop these by detaching the rotor heads and see how close I can get them, because I'm going to have to be outside of turret range when I drop. And I realize this is very much a half-cocked idea, because I was so very close with Rudolf, and I probably could just build another Rudolf. But I want to try this first, and then if this doesn't work, Rudolf will be my coup de grace, and I will probably add one more thruster to him, as was suggested to me, which will almost certainly give me better control and allow me to take it out quite... to be much more accurate. So let's get this pretty much over the top. Let's back up. And now we need to arm these warheads. Then We need to switch to spectator camera. No. We don't. We want this view. And then we want to go... Maybe I'll drop the first one just so that I get a bit of an idea of how far off I am. Yeah. Alright. Drop 1. I'm pretty happy. Drop 2. Let's see what happens. Oh, lots of missiles. Oh, I was pretty well on target then. Huh. Not bad. I mean, I didn't do any damage, but not bad. Alright, let's head home. I'm pretty proud of my accuracy there. Considering I'm just kind of lining up off the artificial horizon here. I'd say I was pretty good. I mean, I actually hit... Like, my debris hit one of the solar panels. If I actually made a bomb big enough to get through their missile launcher, it'd get there. Now that we're back at base, I am going to add a couple of decoys to the solar tower. And my plan for that involves... Oops. Accidentally having a full inventory when I shouldn't have. Anyway, so... My plan. We need decoys. Here's the plan that I had right at the beginning, which was why I built these fatter bits on the end. Oh man. Dang it! Let's do this. Pop you there. Weld you up. Clear some inventory space. Get rid of the interior light. Weld that back up. Place another one. So the idea would be to put a decoy here. Then, what do I coat it with? So I've got a few different options that will work. I wonder if I can just stand here so I don't use up my hydrogen. Oh. I am not moving with the grid. You stopped? You gonna stay still for a minute? So, what could I use? I could use catwalks. That might work. I'll have a look at that. I could use heavy armor half slabs. Or I could use glass. What a heavy armor half slab's going to look like if I use them. One like that. One like that. They will give me the greatest durability of anything that I could put on here, which is a significant advantage in their favor. So I'm not really going to be able to put any lighting on here if I start putting these in there. I could use the corner lights. Put one there and one here. Which would work. Yeah, I guess that'd work. And then just use some heavy slope there and slope there. And I've deliberately not placed the half slab here because I need to be able to finish welding up the decoy. That could certainly work. How does that look at a distance? Actually doesn't look too bad as it is right now. Huh. I might be okay with this. Let's grab the other bits that I need for this construction. And I think having one of those at each end will buy us... It'll probably buy us a few panels. Literally. So each time we get attacked, we might lose a couple less solar panels. Which could be a significant difference. And it was the plan all along, so that's where I'm putting my first few decoys. I'm not going to place any decoys under the terrain because they would be perfectly effective, and that just feels like cheating when the AI... Even though they are pummeling me at the moment, that is largely because I am not fighting dirty. And I could very easily fight dirty. I could go and sap them And they'd have no protection against me whatsoever if I did that. Go and dig under their base and then just drop it off the side of that cliff that it sits on. So I'm going to go grab the buttercup and weld these. This is certainly one of those times where the welder ship does things much, much quicker than I could. Because this would take me so many trips back and forth to get all those plates and all those metal grids into these blocks. And there we go. Just need to bring up a couple of pieces to finish off those lights and we are done. And I've also got an idea for the... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is a bad place to be in a vector thrust ship. Oh. Okay, let's get into the garage. I did not want to be shot at with this because a single bullet that lands in the right spot could do me in. Did our decoy take any hits? Don't think so. As I'm going to need to make some brave runs with the ugly duckling to bring a few more of the sandbags back home because I do not have the ammunition to build new ones. I'm going to have to wait for that other one, that thing that's coming in that's 2.1 k's away. Let's take it out the old-fashioned way. Where is my rifle? I don't want to draw fire to the tower, so I shouldn't probably be on it. Let's stand on the roof of the cabin. Alright, stinging adversary. Let's see if you take on my decoys and give me a chance to take you out. You're probably just going to keep shooting at my bunker. Yeah, the bunker's taking more hits. Great. Stop looking down at whatever that is. Start looking up at this thing. Okay, that's down. Oh, it did shoot at the decoy. The decoy worked! Haha! Phew. And the heavy armor lasted long enough for everything to work as it intended. Sweet! Alright, I'm happy about that. That was a lot cheaper to repair. I only lost a light. Nice. Alright, let's go grab the ugly duckling and get a move on to get another couple of sandbags back home. So although it will make mining more dangerous, it is not worth having the base overrun. Ah, jeez. I feel like there's never been a time where I've moved sandbags during daylight. I always seem to be moving them at night, which is just about the worst possible time to do it. Now, where to place this one? I suppose... Oh no, stop wasting ammo. They're dead. Even at the base of the solar tower would be useful for now. Wonder whether there's anywhere flat enough for me to rest it. Are you going to stop sliding or are you going to keep sliding forever? I reckon you'll stop sliding. Eventually. Maybe. Maybe not. Come on. Stop. Stop. I may have done some incredibly ridiculous things with my defense while playing this, but the sandbags, I reckon I did something right with them. Something very right. Yeah, that'll work for now. That puts at least one turret in before the solar tower, so to speak. So let's go grab another one. And with the next one, I think I'm going to try and get it up on the top of the mountain behind the base. Just for a little extra protection from there. Now, I'm not doing cruise mode at the moment because it's too dark. I feel like that's way too risky. Even though it does save on power. What I'm going to try and do, or what I am going to do, is I'm going to mine some magnesium with the butterball just as is. So it's going to fly to the mine site and fly back, which should get me enough magnesium for quite a lot of ammunition, which would be very, very useful. I've got to be... Oh, there we go. Now I can see. So once I've done that, I should be able to, with a bunch more ammunition, build a new version of the sandbag that's a bit more flexible than the current model. And then once I've got more sandbags, I will place enough of them around each of the mine sites. And with all of the mine sites protected, I can then go out and do a few runs with the goose and get some good big loads of everything. And hopefully in amongst all of that time, we'll have enough power back at the base that we can actually get the refineries back up and running, because right now I am not generating any new resources. If it weren't for the fact that I was flying around so many vehicles and stealing so much charge from the base for that, I would probably have saved up a lot of power by now. I feel like today was a learning day. I've learnt that my missiles, they weren't horrible. It was just my aim. And I could probably upgrade Rudolf with a single extra thruster that would make it very accurate, which was suggested to me. I just didn't do it because I wanted to see how difficult it might be to control it just with the 2 thrusters, keeping it as pretty much cheap as I could possibly do. The bombing, far more accurate than I thought I would be able to get, I'll be honest. I thought I was going to miss by quite a large margin. So it's good to know I can be quite accurate even without using the gravity-aligned camera script. Which, if I do build a bomber, I will have a camera set up with that. Although, will that help me? Yes, it would. Because I could use the gravity-aligned camera and have that same grid with all of the bombs on it. So as long as that is perfectly over it, I'd be able to drop all the same bombs. Yeah. Excellent. But even though I say we've learned things, it was not the most successful attack run. I think the Chickenhawk Mark II proved its mettle well and truly. It was fantastic. I took out so many drones with that thing. The only limitation was really its ammunition load and its power. If it wasn't going to run out of battery and didn't run out of ammunition, I could have stayed out there all day. So for next time, there are 2 things I need to do. One, I need to go mine some more magnesium. And once I've got that magnesium, I'm going to build as much ammunition as I can and then rearm all of the sandbags that are around me. Make sure that my own base turrets have plenty of ammunition. Plus, I would really like to do a redesign of the bunker. And this time the redesign will include a decoy, and that decoy is going to be positioned hopefully so that later on when I've got lots of resources and I can afford to put some of them in the bunker just in case, that decoy will be positioned so that I can put a welder underneath it and have it permanently on so that welder could repair it as it gets damaged, hopefully making it almost indestructible, at least to a single drone. So there's the big plans. So there's that, and hopefully no more rebuilding of solar panels now that we've got the decoys, and plenty more to come. So I'll see you then.